Good evening, Drew.
He's back. Paul's back.
I'm back.
Oh, buddy. It's been 2 weeks since we talked, and that makes me kind of sad. I missed you.
I missed you too, buddy.
Man, I can't wait to ask you so many questions about your experience.
I can't wait to tell you about my experience.
Yeah. It was funny. You were down there the same time Mandy was.
Okay.
And I thought about telling her to send you a DM on Twitter or something, but I figured I think you were probably a day from coming back the day she got there. So
Got it.
But man, okay. So just to catch everybody up, Paul went on what can only be described as an awesome family vacation to Disney, I hope.
It was really good, yes.
Okay, good. That's the answer. We don't have to talk about it. We can save ourselves 40 minutes. No. He's back now, and
I'm back.
I'm just going to ask him a whole bunch of questions.
Okay, I'm here. Let's do it.
Okay. So, question number one.
Mm-hmm.
How did all the flights and everything work out? No delays? Nothing?
No problems, no delays, good flights. We only had the slightest bit of turbulence on the way home. Mm-hmm. My wife even remarked the flight there was the best flight she has ever taken.
That never happens to me.
Yeah, it was absolutely flawless, smooth. The landing was like butter. There was no bounce. There was it was wonderful.
Damn.
Yep.
Damn.
I mean, no lost luggage. It was good.
That's great.
10 out of 10 would recommend to others. Yep.
Now, how many days were you there again? It was 10?
No, the whole trip was 8 days. Okay. 2 travel days on the end. 4 days at Disney, 1 day at SeaWorld, and 1 much needed rest day in the middle.
Man, that place wears you out.
Oh, it does. It does.
Now, I would love for you to tell me about everything you did, the itinerary, but I'm just going to cut right to the chase.
Okay.
Now, when you were down there and you went to all these different experiences and parks and things like that, was there one particular thing that you all did that everybody universally loved?
Yeah. I got to touch a rhino, Drew.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
On purpose? Or?
On purpose.
Okay.
And it's not a euphemism.
Mm-hmm. You got to touch a rhino.
I got to touch a rhino. So we did a couple of backstage tours at Animal Kingdom. Both of my kids, especially my son, are big animal lovers. We did an elephant one, which was it was fine. It was fine. But then we did a rhino one later that day, and it was fantastic. The only bad part was it was completely backstage at Disney, and we were not allowed to take any photos, no recordings, no nothing.
Ooh, darn!
But yeah, it is what it is. But they basically took us backstage where the areas where the rhinos can kind of be when they're not on safari, where they're not on display, and they had a full-grown adult male rhino there who loves scritches. He liked to be scritched.
Interesting, because I thought they had big, tough skin that was the opposite of what you would scritch.
He loves physical contact. So
same.
So there was a gigantic steel door in between me and the rhino, right? But he had lined his whole body up against the door, and then everybody got to come on one at a time and pet the rhino, give the rhino some scritches.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
Did the rhino make a big stinky doo-doo?
It did not. No.
No absolute beefers of a fart.
No beefers. No. He just sat there. One of the kind of handlers kind of gave him food, and he just sat there and ate, and everybody got to give him scritches. And
how do I get that job? I want to be fed and get scritches. Yeah. That's what exactly. I want that job.
Well, be an an adult rhino who's owned by the Walt Disney Corporation.
So see that was that is the one that was most memorable. Everybody seemed to love.
Oh yeah. It was like, I mean, we you read the description of like this thing that we did. I think it was called like Up Close with Rhinos or something.
Yeah,
it's an extra. It's not free, right? It's an extra. You have to pay. In addition to everything else, you have to pay. You have to pay them more money to go back behind the scene. Yep.
Breathing in Disney costs.
I spent just an insane amount of money. Insane amount of money. So, but like nowhere on there does it say, "Hey, you're going to get to touch a rhino." But we totally did, and it was it was incredible, absolutely incredible. Like I never thought that would happen. It was so cool.
Anything? I don't want to say that you didn't like that. Maybe didn't live up to the hype.
Well, I mean, there's definitely one thing that everybody kind of universally hated. My wife. So we spent some time, like before the trip, kind of prioritizing rides, things we absolutely wanted to do, things the things we would do if kind of A tier and B tier.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife put It's a Small World on the A tier, saying it's quintessential and you have to do
Canonical Disney.
Yeah. And I was like, no, you really don't, Jennifer. And she's like, yes, we do. And we fought a little bit and I gave up. So when we got to Disney, we rode It's a Small World. It's that ride is like 75% too long. It just is. It just is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's like a 9 or like 10-minute ride or something. They
really mosey you through that thing.
Yeah.
I remember riding that the first or maybe second time I went.
10 minutes. Yes. Oof. 10-minute ride.
And it's you're sort of trapped in there.
You are. Yeah, you're very much trapped.
You can't do anything about it.
And like the whole time my kids are giving me the look like
you should have just like tilted your head towards Jennifer because it sounds like this was her fault.
I did. I was like, I tried, kids. I tried. and then definitively when we came off the ride, I looked at Jennifer and then said, I am never riding that ride again as long as I live. That was my last time. Mm-hmm. I'm done.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Last question, and then maybe you can give me like a quick like blow by blow everything that happened. I'm sort of like jumping all around your timeline here.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I remember you talking about quite a bit that you sort of went out of your way to set was the reserved seating at the fireworks.
Yes.
How did that go?
It actually went really well. So we met we went to, I think it was in Tomorrowland, some Tomorrowland Terrace, kind of around like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And the fireworks are like 9:20 or something. And they checked us in, and it was actually better than I thought. They basically had there was 2 buffets. Oh, technically 3. Okay. So first of all, there were drinks for kids, right? They had like sparkling cider and water and orange juice, and something that made me very uncomfortable. So like like those gigantic like drink containers that they keep out, and you can push a button and water comes out. They had one of those of milk. Yeah, and that's just too much milk. Like. It's unsettling to see so much milk in one place. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Show title.
And 2, to kind of just be sitting out there in the Orlando heat.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, wait a minute. Well, time out. You said it was a machine full of milk?
It was like a bespoke, like, catering. This is where you get your liquid kind of thing.
Yeah. I just assumed you meant it was like a milk vending machine.
No. It was a clear container, and I could see all the milk contained within. And it was too much milk, Drew. Too much milk.
Some people really like milk.
Then there was a huge dessert buffet with like fresh fruit and chocolates and cookies and stuff. It was all really good. And then there was a all you could drink booze cart.
Hell yeah.
Which I did not partake. I did have some cocktails, but not so much because like it's Disney. Like we're eating weird. We're all dehydrated. Like I don't want to tie it on too much, but I did have a few beverages.
Okay.
And then they had kind of roped off a little area for us, kind of right off Main Street Disney, with a not perfect, but still pretty good view of the fireworks and the big laser light show and the productions they do on Cinderella's castle and stuff. So, yeah, it was good. It was way too much money, but
it's an experience, not a vacation.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay, so how about where you stayed? Give me some details. Like, was it good? Did that sort of live up to your travel agent's recommendation?
Yeah, like the only issue was check-in wasn't until 3:00, but we got there a little early. But I had done online check-in and said like, hey, we're probably gonna be there around 2:00, and it wasn't like closer to 4 until our room was ready. So we're kind of just sitting there with all of our shit in the lobby waiting for our room to be ready. And that really kind of just sucked. It's just that waiting. But once we got in there, I mean, the room was fine. Like, obviously, like 4 people, it's not a huge room. Like, we didn't get like a fancy like suite or anything. We picked just a standard 2 queen beds, side by side, TV, toilet, shower room. 4 people in one room, it was fine. It was fine. Like, the room was nothing special. The resort had like a nice little cafe where you could buy we stayed at French Quarter, New Orleans. No, New Orleans French Quarter. Yeah, or Port Orleans. I don't know.
Port Orleans.
Yeah, Port Orleans French Quarter. Not Riverside, the smaller one. They had a little cafe where you could buy Mickey-shaped beignets, which was cute. Absolutely terrific. Very good. We ate too many of those. And like a little restaurant where you can get like pizza or fries or gumbo, like, because Cajun. And it was fine. The resort was fine. Like, we weren't there too much except for like maybe the rest day. It was mostly just a place for us to put our shit down and sleep. So yeah, it was fine. Yeah.
Now, how did you get around? Did you do the buses and the boats, or what was like your primary means of getting around there?
Mostly just the buses. Like, where we stayed, we could take a boat ride to like Disney Springs. So we did that the first night. We had dinner reservations there. And we also went to Disney Springs on our rest day after a day of like sleeping in and, taking it easy. So that was a nice little boat ride, except when it stormed, they closed the boats and you have to take a bus. But other than that, to the parks and stuff, we took buses. The buses were fine.
Yeah, they're perfectly fine. Yeah. They were on time and air conditioned.
Yeah, they have a little screen. At least at the resort we were at, they had a little screen letting you know exactly when your next bus was going to show up. We never had to wait too long for a bus. They were never overly crowded. Like, Disney knows what they're doing when it comes to buses. I'll give them that. Yeah.
And you guys all did fast passes or magic bands or whatever the hell that was?
We got magic bands. We got the Disney Genie Plus, which allows you to do the lightning lane things. Honestly, I can't imagine doing Disney without that. It was like, we didn't ride everything in every park because, there were some things we weren't interested in. My family's not big on coasters. So outside of the Seven Dwarves minecart ride, we didn't ride any coasters. So like no Space Mountain, no Everest, nothing like that. But we got everything we wanted to ride, and all of our I like to ride that done. So and that wouldn't have been possible, I don't think, without the Genie Plus Lightning Lane service.
Now even with that, did you end up waiting in a lot of lines or no?
We did a few things on standby, but it was all things that were like really short lines. And like maybe the longest we'd had to wait in a Lightning Lane line was like 5 minutes. Now there was some times where like we had like, like our next thing to do was like at 2:00 and it was 1:00 and we had an hour to kill. And like all the lines were really busy. But at that point we would just kind of like well, let's get something to eat or something to drink or look at a shop. So like, we were waiting in line, so to speak, but we could do whatever we wanted, like,
which is pretty neat.
Yeah, it was great. Like, it didn't feel like we were like wasted any time. If we wanted to take a break, we definitely could and sit down and relax and drink some water. Yeah, it was good.
Okay, a couple more questions. Okay. So what was your favorite ride?
So me and my son, my wife and daughter did not do it. We rode the Avatar ride, Flight of Passage.
Oh.
I love coasters, Drew. I love roller coasters. I love heights. I love the drops.
Yep.
That ride. Okay, so I don't know if you know what it is. So no. It's Avatar themed, whatever.
Okay.
So basically, those big flying things. I don't know if you remember Avatar at all. There's big flying things and the big blue people right on the big flying things. Well,
hold on. Hold on. I have to close all my open furry porn to Google what Avatar is. Go ahead.
Yep. So basically, it's you're sitting on something that kind of looks like a motorcycle. So you're kind of like sitting. You're supposed to be sitting on top of the Banshee, the flying thing.
Sure.
And you're in front of a gigantic movie screen. They put 3D glasses on you. So like it's not a full roller coaster, right? You're just in this thing and it moves quite a bit and it drops and it blows air in your face. And you get close to water and it blows water in your face. And
immersion.
Yeah, immersion. But it is, as far as like that kind of experience goes, like this is probably like in my top 5 of like best rides I've ever rode.
Really?
It was absolutely incredible. Like it felt like you were flying. Like obviously like the seat moves quite a bit, right? So like, sure. It tilts and it turns and it goes forward, but it actually felt like you felt the drops. The only thing it was really missing was that real kind of like, 0G, quote unquote 0G in a roller coaster when you go over the hill, you didn't really get that because you weren't really moving, but it was absolutely incredible. My son absolutely loved it. It was his favorite ride as well.
And I'm sure like the multimedia part of it was.
Oh, it was insane. Like even the little things, because like you're supposed to be riding on the back of this creature. So like where your legs are sitting, you could actually feel like it breathing.
Whoa.
Yeah. So like it would push against your legs and stuff as it was breathing. And yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was.
I think Mandy has also talked about that one. I think there's been, I want to say that's probably like the second Avatar ride. I think there was another one too, wasn't there?
There's like a slow river ride that you can do.
That doesn't sound like something she would do.
Yeah, it's not like a get wet ride. It's just a sit in a boat and go through things ride. And actually, it's as far like it's really well done. I must say, it's Avatar, and nobody really gives a shit about that movie
Not anymore. That's about to change, though. I mean, there's a new one coming out.
Yeah.
And now there's water.
Yeah. I mean, it did. I mean, maybe it works because, like, after we went, like, that part of the park is just beautifully themed. It looks wonderful. The ride was great. And my son was like, we actually got home. Was it like, it was the day after we got home. So that Friday, my son's just like, hey, let's watch Avatar.
The germ. Got him.
Because he had never seen it before. So we watched it. And,
okay. Well, that's different.
Yeah.
That's different.
Oh.
Any other like rides that you really enjoyed, or?
Honestly, the other big thing that I think was just kind of a special time. I think I had mentioned this before. So one of the days we went to SeaWorld, and
that's another Jennifer thing.
Another Jennifer thing. SeaWorld was fine. It was like, we watched the shows, we did the things. Whatever. SeaWorld was SeaWorld. But the cool part was, at least for me, like it's my last year, one of my daughter's really good friends moved away from our neighborhood and moved to like 45 an hour away from Orlando. So we actually invited her friend to come with us to SeaWorld. So like their parents dropped her off at the resort at Disney. We ate beignets, we got a lift. We went to SeaWorld. They got to spend the whole day together.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was nice. Yep.
Okay. Switching gears just ever so slightly. Now, listen, Paul, I would say that you are a man of means, and even as expensive as this would be, like forgoing airfare and accommodations and park admission, like that is a considerable sum of money for a family of four, as I understand it.
It is.
Now, here's my question though: how much souveniring did you do?
A lot.
Okay,
a lot, right. Drew. A lot.
So what? Okay, so give me some highlights, because we love to talk about shit we buy, right? What do you got?
I didn't really buy anything myself personally. I bought I'm a 40-something-year-old man. I like Winnie the Pooh. So I did buy a Winnie the Pooh pin for my bag, my laptop bag. I did buy a pair of Winnie the Pooh ears that I wore.
Of course
I did. And I also I hate the water, but I like aquatic creatures. I like sea lions. So I bought a sea lion t-shirt when I was at SeaWorld.
Those are just big old water dogs.
The big old water. Exactly. The big old water dogs.
Yep.
My daughter, I don't know, there were backpacks and pins and shirts and books and figurines and princess stuff and ears, and it was it was a lot, Drew. We bought a lot of stuff.
But I'm really interested in what maybe Zachary got.
Zachary likes Nightmare on Elm Street, or not Nightmare on Elm Street. The Nightmare Before Christmas, the Disney,
sure. This is Halloween.
whatever. Yeah, that thing with Jack Skellington. So he got
whoa.
Hold on.
Are you?
What am I talking about?
Are you not a fan of Nightmare Before Christmas?
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's a great movie. Anyway, continue.
It's fine. So he got some stuff there. I think he got a shirt. And he bought some pins. He also liked the Haunted Mansion ride, so he bought something with that. He didn't really buy a whole heck of a lot. Zachary also, his favorite animal has always been and still is penguins. So he did buy a penguin figurine from SeaWorld to put in his room. But mostly it was my wife and daughter. My daughter made out like a bandit.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Any other kind of loose change thoughts, stuff that sticks out, or stuff that you thought was good or bad or anything?
My daughter did have a handful of people that she wanted to get. She wanted to do the meet and greets and do the signatures, and I will have to admit that those fine people, those fine Disney employees, go above and beyond anything that's expected of them. They all talked. They were all in character. It was just absolutely fantastic.
No doubt.
Oh,
okay. Well, Paul, I mean, obviously, I'm thrilled that you're back, buddy. It sounds like you had a great trip and it was all
great.
worth it. Mm-hmm. Will you do it again?
Not anytime soon. So just to put a nice little bow on the whole thing. So the vacation was great. Coming back from vacation kind of sucked. I came back with a non-COVID related illness, a little bit of a cold that I'm still kind of fighting. And our Yorkie had a little bit of a health scare the day after we got home. She's a Yorkie. She has issues with her windpipe collapsing.
Yeah, Rocky.
When she gets excited, well, it collapsed on Friday night, and she was having a really hard time breathing.
Oh no.
So she spent 3 nights at the OSU vet while they were looking at her, trying to get her to calm down, figure out what the treatment was. I have to say those vets were absolutely great. She's on a collection of all sorts of meds now. She's doing really good now. But that sucked. It's like, hey, come home, get the dogs. Oh no, one of the dogs is broken.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, it's all good now. How have you been, Drew?
Oh, okay. So I don't know. Did you get a chance to listen to last week's episode or no?
Well, I edited it, so
that's true.
Yes,
you kind of did.
Yeah, I did. It was a great episode.
Thank you. So my big thing was we recorded the day I got back from a business trip to Redmond, and then we basically didn't talk for 2 weeks. So literally the next day, Paul, I got sick with COVID.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep. And I had it was pretty bad. I woke up with a really bad headache on Friday. It was manageable, but it was bad, and then that got worse through the day. And by the time I was ready to go to bed, like I took some Tylenol just to try to be able to sleep and everything. And then I woke up, was running a fever. It was pretty high. Like there was one point where it was like 101, and I was looking online like at what temperature do my insides boil, right? Like I'm frying my brain. Yeah. They were like, if you ever have like 101.5 consistently, like go to the ER or whatever. So
yeah.
I just kept putting the little thermometer in my ear and checking everything and just wondering how accurate that thing was. And I ran a fever for about a day and a half. Like it broke Monday morning, like Sunday night, Monday morning. And I just was tired, very, very tired, had chills, the whole deal. Cough wasn't too bad. I still have a little one here and there, but it wasn't anything bad at all. It was just such a shitty time because I had taken Friday off.
Yep.
I had taken Monday off. It was 4th of July weekend. It just wasn't good, man. But just other than that, man, I'm just here working and doing stuff. Just being me.
Doing stuff.
Yeah. I was really glad Eric was able to still record and step in. He seems to be the go-to for this now.
Yeah, dude, we should try a 3-person episode. I'm just saying.
I suggested it. Yeah. I suggested it. Maybe. Yeah. Well, I'm sure he could be convinced.
Yeah, I'm down.
Great, man.
Oh.
All right. So setting all that aside, the next section here is you and I have been very anxiously waiting the M2 MacBook Air orders. Mm-hmm. I did not get a chance to order.
Okay.
And that was primarily because I mostly forgot, but even if I had, I really wasn't in a position to do that right away, and I can explain why a little bit later. But it looks like you were able to do it.
Yeah, I also kind of forgot. I didn't order to the day after they went on sale. Mm-hmm. So what was it, Saturday? I ordered on Saturday. I was actually looking at elephants at the time.
Sure.
Like, oh shit, I forgot to buy my laptop. I did order one. It does not arrive until, let's check the dates here, between August 2nd and August 9th, which I guess all things considered is
not bad at all.
Not bad at all, considering that I ordered it like almost 24 hours after they went on sale.
Yeah. I'm just looking here right now, and like the configuration I want wouldn't be till September.
Yeah. I made a decision. I did buy the midnight and no middle sliders. I maxed everything out.
Really?
I did. Yep.
So you just went for it, man.
I just went for it. 24 gigs of RAM, 2 terabytes of storage.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I did the most expensive one you can make. And that's what I bought.
Wow. I mean, the reviews have been super positive, and trust me, yeah. I would have loved to order one, and I probably still will. It's just going to be a little bit delayed. So hopefully by the time I go to order, probably mid to late August, I'll be happier. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
Yep. And I also bought, like, of course it's Mac time, so I had to buy some additional accessories, and of course Apple just ships all that stuff to you right away. Uh-huh. So I bought an extra of the MagSafe cables.
Oh,
and the MagSafe cables are colored and tinted. Like I get to pick a midnight, MagSafe cable.
How's it look?
It looks amazing. Like
Really?
if the anodized aluminum, the color on the thing that plugs in, if it's what the laptop looks like, I'm going to be over the moon. It's going to be so wonderful.
I'm going to have to see it.
Mhm.
I'm just like the fingerprint thing is pretty much what I would do. But if I got like a clamshell for it or something, I don't know.
I also bought the Apple polishing cloth so I could remove. Don't waste your money on the Apple polishing cloth. It's not even a very good polishing cloth.
Not for nothing. In my laptop bag, I actually keep a microfiber cloth for wiping my monitor down and sort of wiping the filth off my computer. Works great. Just throw one of those in your bag. It was super nice to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was all ready to order it. And I need to be careful how I say this because I don't want this to come off. No, like not a joke. It's because my dad listens to the podcast.
Okay.
And my dad is in the process of moving to South Carolina.
Okay.
He's selling his house, which that's I'm still sort of processing that.
This is your childhood home, I assume?
No, so
no.
It is his like young adult home.
Okay.
It was his mom and dad's. After they had passed away, he has two other siblings, and he basically bought their portion of the house asset, and he has lived there for a while and modernized it a fair amount. But it's just him there, and it's a pretty big house. So he's looking to move a little further south, which honestly, if he wasn't moving near somebody, we have family close to where he's going to be living. He just wants to be a little closer to them and somewhere where it's warmer. But long story short, he needed a small loan to sort of go, make sure all the funds where they needed to be and everything. And that's fine. Like, I don't mind doing it all. Like, I mean, my dad, my mom, like it's not even a question, right? Like, they have spent well north of that, that money on me, right? And it wasn't even that much, but it was just one of those things where he wanted to be safe. And I sent that to him, and that whole process of doing like an instant wire transfer was pretty wild. We didn't have to use any kind of fancy apps or anything, but it's just amazing, like how banking technology gets all the right ones and zeros to the right place. Anyway,
yeah.
So I had to help him with that. So just setting that aside, I just delayed this a bit, but I would like to get it ordered hopefully mid-August.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's you just do that.
You just do it.
You just do it. Yeah,
you just do it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not to say that I don't want a treat.
Oh, are you in the market for something? He says, knowingly looking at the document.
Yeah. Last time we talked, I said that I was sort of ready to get a new keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
And that is still true.
Okay.
But a lot of I would love to get the same keyboard that you got. Okay. And I was looking at it, but the configurations I want are all sold out right now.
Yeah.
And it's not clear to me when they will be back in stock. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it and probably order one. I still have my eye on the drop stuff, but I just haven't made up my mind yet. But I'm in the market for a new monitor for my PC. And I think I'm ready to make the jump to 4K.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I've been debating it for some time. Like my computer is powerful enough that anything I'm playing right now, I'm not worried about it being a problem. Mm-hmm. But see, my problem is I have an ultra wide right now that I love it. It's a great monitor. It still works great. It has one scratch in the screen from when I was an idiot, but it's not terrible. But it's an ultra wide, and I really like using it. The games that can take advantage of it, it's pretty awesome. I really like it. It's a relatively decent size. There really aren't any ultra wide 4K monitors. Samsung makes one that is like an extremely weird resolution. And I think it's technically two monitors that have like a seamless bevel. Yeah.
Crazy. All right. That's nuts.
Yeah. When you get time, and I'll put a reminder in the show notes for me to go look it up. What was it? The Neo. Yeah, there it is. 49-inch ultra wide. You'll have to watch a video on this because when they do the reviews, apparently you can either use this as one monitor or it has like separate drivers or something in it where like if you hook up to PCs,
oh my goodness, I think I'm looking at it now. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I want to see if there's like a picture of that in action because it's actually pretty interesting to see it work because it's literally just like having two monitors side by side. Do they not show us a picture of it? Damn. Last low lag input, FreeSync. Yeah. Picture by picture. So if you scroll down, like
picture by picture, okay,
it's about 3/4 of the way down.
Oh wow, that's wild.
Yeah, so you can basically instead of having one ultra wide, you basically have two 2K monitors.
Huh.
Right? So that's pretty wild. But see, now that looks really cool, right? Like it looks like it would be really cool.
Yeah.
The problem is this monitor has a very aggressive curve.
So I saw the overhead picture. So good gravy.
Yeah. So if I was playing this game and the game was on the right hand side, my head's going to be slightly tilted to the right.
Yeah.
It's not centered. So maybe it's good for productivity, but I can't see myself gaming in that kind of mode.
But almost every picture of this is a spaceship game that doesn't exist.
Yeah, none of these do.
Oh. I mean, it's got G-Sync. What more do you want?
Yeah, sync all my G's. But look at that curve, though. Look how impressive.
That curve is ridiculous.
Yes, and the other nice thing about this is it is a mini LED monitor. Yeah, and it's on sale. It was on sale before. Oh, man. It's not on sale anymore. Darn. Oh, no, I guess it is. No. Not too bad, but the regular G9 is OLED, so I could So this is the newest one. But anyway, I was looking at that and I just can't justify getting into that. So I think I'm gonna try to go to 4K. The thing is, like in terms of pixels, right now my resolution's 3440 by 1440, I believe,
or
1600 or something. I can't remember. I'm just basically condensing this monitor. It's going to be slightly more pixels, so I'm not worried about it driving it. But yeah, I'm looking at a couple different ones.
So what qualities are what size and like what other features are you hunting for?
I would like a good HDR monitor.
Ooh, okay.
And it seems like
that can get pricey for a gaming monitor.
It can. And I was looking at our good friends, the Arting site, and they have a whole section in there on monitor reviews for gaming. So if you go to their website and you click on gaming, there's a few in there.
No, I'm going to drop a link. I'm not sure if you've seen this, Drew. Speaking of monitors,
okay.
Have you seen Sony's new gaming monitor?
No, I have not. Let's talk about it.
Okay. So I want you to click on this. Okay, so spec-wise, price-wise, it's a pretty good monitor, I think. In fact,
27-inch 4K HDR. That's not bad.
This is our podcast hero, John Siracusa, is buying this monitor, I believe. What is the first thing you notice about this monitor?
It's got a tripod.
It's got a tripod stand. It is, and then click on the fourth picture down.
What? That's disgusting.
It is the ugliest.
It's the closest thing we have to a modern. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the trophy that the guy wins in A Christmas Story. This is the modern equivalent of that.
Yeah. It's got a lot.
Oh my God. I could not throw that away fast enough and use the Visa mount.
I think they're trying to say, hey, this looks really cool with your PlayStation 5.
No.
But it's hideous.
It's real bad.
It's real bad.
InZone M9. And this is, let's see here. Oh, so many nits.
Yeah.
HDMI 2.1, NVIDIA G-Sync, 4K, a lot of HDMI ports, still has a display port, less ghosting, 1 millisecond response time. Does it not tell me the raw specs? What is it? OLED?
I don't think it is OLED.
Or is it mini LED? You can. It's got RGB on it. We love that.
It's an IPS panel. That's
okay.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. That's the downside is.
Yeah. So
but
talk to me about the panels, right? Because we have mini LED, which is the new hotness. We still have IPS, and we have VA, and there's another one I'm forgetting.
I don't remember.
But what's the best one for gaming?
It really depends on what you're looking for. From what I understand, like IPS panels, they're like, as far as technology, they're old, but they have really high refresh rates. They're basically flawless. They're as good as they're going to get these days, right? There's hardly any ghosting. There's no burn in. They can get plenty bright. The downside is like you're not going to get, your HDR is not going to be great. Like your blacks are going to be muddy because they can't get super black. Your mini LEDs kind of improve on your typical LED, but the backlight is much better, right? That instead of having big like edgelit kind of things, they've got like lots of little small LEDs, so the HDR can get you can get really good contrast there. And then obviously it's everything is a trade-off, right? Like an OLED, obviously you're gonna get like pure blacks, but there's still some issues with burn in on those, and that can be even more pronounced with games. And when you're playing your shooting man games and your head's up all the time, it's all just really a trade-off, right? Like at the end of the day is what you want. I mean, I think for gaming, you're probably better off with like mini LED or just a regular IPS panel. But I don't know. I'm not a big PC gamer, but
yeah. And I have read articles that sort of make the argument for and against. And I think mini LED looks to sort of correct, because like both VA and IPS panels have shortcomings depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
But to sort of go back to your question, so for me, like table stakes for one of these monitors is going to be 4K, probably 32.
Okay.
Because again, I have an ultra wide monitor right now, so I'm not, I want something that I can put here that is still going to take up, not too much desk size, but will still give me sort of that immersive experience.
Okay.
So that is kind of what I'm thinking. High refresh rate. I'm not even in the room if you're not at 144 minimum.
Okay.
HDR, if it has it, which I think most of these 4K monitors do because they can handle it. It needs to have a VESA mount, because I actually have a nice monitor arm that I want to repurpose, which I think most of these things do these days. I think unless you get a super cheap monitor with like a built-in plastic stand, I think you're fine. But yeah, so those are sort of what I'm looking at here. And like the rating site, they actually really like, instead of looking at that Neo G9 that we were looking at, they make a G7, which is their VA panel 4K monitor, sort of in that same family. And it's perfectly well stated. It looks like it's a nice monitor. It seems to be the one they like the most. It does everything I just said and has really good, really good specs on stuff. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I think that's probably, I'm going to go with something like that. I think Micro Center had some in stock. I think they were selling them for like $700. So it's a little bit on the pricier side. But then again, if I was going to get one of these ultra wides, I'd be in for like $1,200, $1,500. And at that point, like, I'm not sure.
Right.
Anyway, that's what I'm looking at. What does Zach has a 2K monitor, right?
No, it's just 1080.
1080p. That's right.
Yeah. That's actually something I'm hoping to maybe upgrade over. I don't know. He may be due for like a whole new computer this Christmas. So,
well, graphics cards are hella cheap right now.
Yeah. You can actually buy them, I guess. But Yeah.
Dude, the one that I bought, and remember, I got this shortly, well, probably about a month after they launched.
Yeah.
Whenever they were sort of coming back in stock, whenever they were around. I think I paid like $1,600 for mine, and my model right now is they're like $1,200, and you can probably find it even cheaper than that.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's the 3090. The 3090 Ti's are selling for about that right now, and if they release this new 4000 series that they're talking about, then they'll go down even further. But with people backing off of crypto and everything, Nvidia just keeps slashing prices on these things to try to move inventory. I guess they got addicted to selling so many video cards.
Oh, the crypto bros are
that's back up now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I keep toying with the idea of like getting him a new PC and probably going down like the pre-built route, so I don't have to deal with that ever again. So if I decide to do that, there'll probably be an episode where Drew tells Paul what to buy.
I mean, if I'm being 100% honest, Micro Center's house brand Power Spec, it's stuff that they pull off the shelf at Micro Center, right? Like it's not going to be like a Dell or a Lenovo or an HP that has like their proprietary motherboard. It's going to limit your expansion options. Like all these Power Spec ones you can buy right now, they're all water cooled. Like, I mean, like not like Drew stupid water cooling. Like,
right? They're buying an all-in-one, like Corsair or something, and putting it on the
yeah. So like. I mean, I just clicked on like the first one that's here. They have one that has the latest Intel, 32 gigs of RAM, a 3080 Ti. The case is good. Like they're not super flashy cases, but they're not cheap cases with good airflow. Like the last 3 times people have asked me, Drew, I need a pre-built for myself or my son and daughter or friend or whatever. This is where I've recommended them. When they weren't available, Asus makes some pretty good entry level ones. But again, like the problem with that is you're getting they have their own custom case and their own sort of like form factors. So messing around in there and upgrading things is doable, but it's just a little bit harder. Where these are just literally traditional, as if you had built it himself, right? Like it would just be there and expanded, and they don't even use like OEM motherboards. Like they literally will use, an Asus or an MSI or like an ASRock board in it. So it's good. They're really good. So that's what I'll save you that time right now.
Prices aren't bad either. So yeah.
No, they're good. It's all about what you want to spend, really.
Exactly. Yep. For sure,
man. I'm super jealous that you got your MacBook Air M2. I mean,
it's going to be a couple of weeks or so. What is time? Yeah, a couple of weeks before I get it. But I am looking forward to it very, very much.
Have you read any like the reviews?
I've watched YouTube videos. I've read all the reviews. I mean, like, it's exactly what I expected, right? Like, there's no active cooling in that laptop. Yeah. If you're rendering a bunch of 4K video for 20 minutes, it's going to throttle.
Just a little.
Like, duh, there's no fan. But for me, like, I'm coming from this, Intel MacBook Pro, which it's fine. Like I'm gonna hand it down to my daughter. She's gonna love it. But it's always just kind of warm all the time. I hear the fans running. In fact, if I popped off if I pop a headphone off right now, my fans are running on it right now. I just don't want that anymore. I just want, that was, to me, that was a feature, not a bug. It's going to be exactly what I want to use it for. Obviously, like, my computing needs are a lot less than they were like 5 years ago. I'm not pushing my machines as much as I used to. I still tinker from time to time, but it's going to be an absolute, It's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to it so much.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm at the point now where I really don't need anything in Windows. With the job I have right now, I can do everything with a web browser and a terminal. Like,
yeah,
it's fine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need all that extra horsepower that I used to need when I was running VMs and doing my own little lab on it and stuff like that to learn something or do a demo or do a presentation. Like, I don't really need that anymore. So
all the stuff Eric needs to do, apparently.
God. And he doesn't, but he'll argue it to the death.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. It's fine.
He's been very hard on me.
Yeah, he's wrong. Windows is gross.
Windows is getting better, but all the hardware you can buy right now is garbage.
Yeah. That being said, like, if I had to pick between like an Apple hardware running Windows or a cheap Dell laptop running Mac OS, I'd probably pick the cheap Dell running Mac OS.
I'll be honest with you, buddy. I think there was a time I would agree with you, but after watching, there's a very large number of people in my network right now that are going through computer upgrades. One, because a lot of those people I work with, we all sort of got hired around the same time, and like our time is coming to get stuff refreshed. And the stuff that is able to be gotten, because supply chain is still sort of biting everybody in the butt.
Oh, yeah.
There was a period of time where, there was a significant backlog to get some things, but the stuff that's out there right now, honestly, I think the only thing I would recommend at this point might be a Lenovo. And I had a Lenovo laptop once and I was not that thrilled with it. Now, granted, it wasn't like a ThinkPad, which is what I would sort of go for, is a nicer ThinkPad or like a ThinkPad Carbon X1 or something. But like Dell stuff I feel has really taken a nosedive in quality and especially in reliability. HP stuff, I don't necessarily go through for their aesthetic. I don't want to lug around an extra heavy gaming thing. So anything made by Asus, MSI, Dell, Alienware, I'm not into that. I want something. Portability is the name of the game right now.
Is like the Dell XPS? Are those still good, or are those taking kind of a nosedive?
You know, man, they're kind of the same form factor. I thought they always had kind of an understated design, and they still, like, the design of it is still okay. The fit and finish isn't as good as I think it used to be. Yeah. And everybody that I know that has had one has had problems recently, like fans dying, hard drives dying, monitors flickering, problems with their docks. Like, it just, when you and I worked together, before I switched to the Mac, I had a Dell XPS that I was rocking, and I loved that thing. It was powerful. I took it, to presentations. Like, it was
that, like that was like the Windows machine to get.
Yeah. I mean,
or you can run Linux on them. A lot of them. Yeah.
It was a perfectly good laptop. And again, maybe this is all anecdotal, but I just feel like everybody I know that has gotten a recent XPS has just not had good luck.
That's too bad.
Yeah. I mean, people still buy a crap load of HPs. I'm trying to think what other brand is out there that people still buy. I think those are the big ones, like Lenovo, HP, and IBM. But yeah, I don't know, man. If I was going to get anything right now, gun to my head, if I couldn't get work to pay for a Mac, I would probably go for like a nice ThinkPad or like a Carbon or something. Assuming we could get them, but that's a whole other story. I mean, Microsoft devices are also, I have to say, an option.
the Surface, yeah.
Yeah, that's when I got hired, that's what I got. I had a Surface Laptop 3, and I just didn't like the keyboard. The display on it was nice. It was plenty powerful enough. They had it spec'd pretty well, but typing on the keyboard on it was just like spongy, and I didn't like it. So
ooh, I'm glad to see the Lenovo's are still rocking the nub. So
yeah, that's the other thing too. That nub is a way of life. I prefer that to a trackpad for sure.
I think I would prefer it to most Windows trackpads.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, my job, the job I had before I came to work with you, they were a big IBM ThinkPad org, and I had the nub. I had the nub for years, probably 6-7 years. I flicked that bean, and I love that little thing. It was precise.
Yeah.
It just worked, you know. I don't know. It never seemed to be in the way. It was great. It was great. Yeah. Anyway, cool, man. So you're back now.
I'm back.
Back on the schedule. Back at work and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you missed it.
No. I mean, I know we talked about it the last episode I was on. I absolutely totally disconnected.
You were able to do it.
I did it. I didn't. I checked. I opened up Outlook like late Sunday afternoon just to look at my calendar for Monday to make sure, like, when is does someone book a 7:00 meeting with me? Nope. 9:00. Great. I can sleep in a little bit.
Nice.
And then I just caught up on everything that first Monday. It was wonderful. Yeah, it was great. I declared Twitter bankruptcy multiple times.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, Paul, I'm happy you're back. You know, I'm glad you had a good time at Disney. I'm glad it lived up to expectations. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to ask you. What'd you do on your off day? Like down there? What did you do?
We slept in. We watched some television. We just kind of rested a lot, and then we went to Disney Springs, which is what used to be called Downtown Disney. It's Disney's big shopping area. We did some just shopping there, and we had dinner, and then we came back and went to bed early. It was great.
Oh, that's such a good day.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, let's wrap this one up. Hopefully everybody's back to enjoying us again. So let's wrap this one up.
Yeah. Hey, we're on the internet, doingtheirbest.com. We're on Twitter at doingbestpod. I'm on the Twitters at Paul Baylor. And where can we find you, Drew?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Pittfurg, Pittfurg.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening.